Over the past 6 months, I managed to help 40 international students/graduates here in Poland to step into corporate world. And like throughout this journey, actually, I managed to prepare more than 50 or 60 job interviews for each and every clients that I used to work with. So in this video, I actually prepared a very good presentation for you guys to nail the next interview that you're gonna have. So the first question they're gonna ask immediately is, tell me about yourself. Basically, the question, you have to paraphrase the question, why should we hire you? That's the question they're gonna ask by asking, tell me about yourself. Basically, you have to showcase your value. The core concept is, what value do you bring to this company and this role actually? Your value proposition is another word, as I said, why should we hire you? Focus on the current or past title and the job role. Result driven and the biggest strength with the example, and connect experience to this role. So basically that's the point. You have to sell yourself right off the bat immediately when they ask the question, tell me about yourself. And you have to actually showcase the experience, showcase the why you are qualified for this specific job role, so you can basically work and perform or bring value to the table, and the companies get benefit from your contribution. Second question is actually, walk me through your resume, highlight the relevance. To be honest with you, the CV is the best resource that you can study to prepare in the best way possible for the job interviews. It doesn't matter. 3 things you have to study. First is your CV, job description, and the company. Oftentimes, actually, when I ask from my clients, even the mock interview, they don't even know how to present themselves, or they don't even know how to walk through their resume professionally. And sometimes they just read, sometimes they like stutter, if that makes sense. And as I said, there is the only one chance, or there is the only best resource that you can study, that you can prepare for the job interview, is your CV. And you have to be prepared. So the core concept, when you are presenting yourself, you don't have to actually touch on the irrelevant point of your resume, or like the bullet points. You have to always highlight the relevant experience only. Highlight the relevance experience. Translate past experience to showcase the relevance. Focus on the achievements for this job position, and do not read the resume word by word. So basically, as I said, you have to always mention the experiences which are relevant to the job position that you are having the interview for. Never ever try reading the resume word by word, because like oftentimes, like couple of like in our case, couple of students, they did the same shit, but it didn't work out. So the next question is, why this company? And basically focus on them, not on you. As I said in the beginning, basically don't ever talk about yourself. Just talk about them, because at the end of the day, they don't care, and they have gazillion applicants for the specific role or for a specific company, and you're not special. Instead, what you need to do, actually, at the end of the day, that's the point. You have to sell yourself in the job interview. And all the questions at the end of the day, if you actually convert to the other question, why should we hire you? And you have to always play your strength, so which are transferable. It might be skills, it might be experience you have, which are transferable for the role that you are having the interview for. Your weakness, honest and improvement. Basically, do not bullshit around. Just straight to the point. Give 1 to 2 weaknesses and back them up, and how you're basically working on them. For example, you can say, like, I'm just giving example that might be horrible. So I cannot say no to people, and I'm working on that. Basically, I'm taking courses, or I'm reading bunch of books, or I'm listening to bunch of podcasts on not basically pleasing people. A lot of people, when they ask, like the company or the HR, they ask like the same question, like what's your weakness or what's your strength, and they bullshit around, and they oftentimes they have cliche answers. And before you actually jump on a call with the HR or with the interviewers, I want you to sit and like reflect what kind of weaknesses you might have, and like what are the actions or what are the improvement points. You have to show you're always willing to improve, which is growth mindset. What makes you unique? That's the another point, to show and prove why you are qualified for this specific role. And the core concept is basically why we should choose you over other candidates. And as I said, at the end of the day, you have to convert each and every question to the question basically, which is why should we hire you? And as I said, you have to always play with your strength and the experiences that you've gained over the past X period of time, and the skills which are transferable for the company, for the job position that you are having the interview for. Highlight the unique combination of the skills. For example, you can say, to be honest with you, I read all the job description, and you guys are looking for people who has XYZ skills that I've acquired or actually gathered over the past XYZ period of time when I was working in XYZ job position at that company. Provide the specific examples. And then when you're talking to something, like basically when you're talking about something, you have to always prove with the real world example or with actual stories. They make sense. Why you're leaving the company. So in that case, if you are like currently employed, and basically you have to tell the truth why you want to leave the company, like the current company, and focus on the roles that they are offering to you. So you can say, this is the reason that I'm actually leaving the company, because I didn't get the expectations that I have. It might be salary, it might be career growth or promotion, whatever it might be. But never complain about the current employer. Emphasize the opportunities in the new role, as I said, which you guys offering this type of actually growth in terms of career. So that's I'm attracted to. Show how new position aligns with your career goals. So just tell them you're here for the long game, and the company or the job role is offering very good, let's say, opportunities or advantages actually. And then finally, you have to give them their credit, if that makes sense. For example, hey, this is what I'm attracted to. So you guys are offering this career growth. It might be monetary, it might be career path, or well-known company, like it might be brand. So that's what I'm attracted to, and I feel like that's the very good move when it comes to my professional path. Last but not least, do you have any questions for me? The core concept is basically show thoughtful preparation. So, like I guarantee that the first question, tell me about yourself, and then do you have any question? Basically, question is actually expected, and like 10 out of time, you will get asked the same question, and it's so embarrassing if you're not prepared. So by asking this question, actually you have to show your curiosity. This is what you need to do. You have to actually research the company, job position, their mission, their value, and you have to be curious about the job role. For example, when we can start, and what exactly you're looking for from me actually in the first 30, 60, 90 days, and how you guys measure the success in this specific role, or with whom I'm gonna be working with, and what kind of team or what kind of environment I'm gonna work in. Basically, you have to be curious about the company, about the specific job position. And the bonus tip is actually salary expectation. At the end of the day, probably 2 or 3 minutes of discussion is actually dictates how much money you make at the specific role. Just because you've done your own research, it's gonna actually be profitable for you at the end of the day. So just because you ask for like the very good range, you will be able to make more money, even though like your like peers or your, let's say, co-workers, I mean the same job position, making less than you. Because I've had many cases with my clients, even with myself, like back in I was working in corporate space. And do your own research, and there are a bunch of tools like salary.com, payscale.com, Glassdoor, and nowadays we have the tool called Perplexity. Basically you have to give the job description and the place and the name of the job. Perplexity gives the range, how much they are paying for the specific role, and you have to always willing to negotiate. For example, let's say you are actually getting interview for, let's say, sales manager, right? Let's say at Google, and then how much they get paid. You have to do your own research, and like on the internet, like based on your research, it says that they are getting, let's say, 10 to 12K in a month. And you can say that, hey, I've done on my own research, and based on my research I'm expecting to get paid 11 to 13K. And like, yeah, present the reasonable range because you've done your own research, and you're not gonna shy or you're not gonna scared. And you can say, you can always back it up with your strength. So in that case, let's say, hey, this is what I have in terms of my skills, in terms of my experience. And I can definitely say that I'm 10 out of 10 for this job position. This is because I've gained XYZ experience, which are transferable for this job role. And that's pretty much it. I hope this video helped you a lot, and let me know your thoughts. And I want you to actually sit and implement these strategies for your next job interview.